martial arts by my father and my family. My father studied under Kempo, Kung Fu, and my uncle, Alejandro, he's the one that actually started back in Mexico. And he was the first one to start in martial arts, Kempo, Kung Fu in Mexico. When they came to the States, my dad picked up on it, my Uncle Hector, and then also my Aunt Luce. So it pretty much became like a family sport, you know. Kind of kept them off the streets, kept them out of trouble and stuff, you know. So when I turned 3, I was like, you know what, Dad's doing it, I think it'll be fun, let's give it a shot, you know. So I got into it that way, and ever since then, just been doing Kempo, Kung Fu with my dad. I stopped when I was about 8, 9 years old, and then about 12, 13 years old, I started with boxing, kickboxing. That's when my dad switched over from his kickboxing career to his boxing career, which he became #2 ranked in the world, and he ended up having to retire by the age of 30, but that's kind of like a short time on how I got brought into martial arts. When I got into MMA, ended my soccer career, went to community college, and then just decided, you know what, martial arts I was really good at, so I'm gonna pick it back up and try to make a name for myself. I didn't really like where I was in life, you know. I was just kind of doing the whole college party life stuff, you know. I'm just like, it's not really for me. I want to do something proud, you know, with the name and with just start a better career for myself, you know. Martial arts in particular, there's always that fire inside me. Like there's always the need for competition, which is also why I picked up soccer and different sports and stuff, you know. But once I ended, I was like, you know what, martial arts has always been like a good passion of mine and stuff. And honestly, I see myself up there with some of the best, you know. When I was growing up, I was winning tournaments. I was definitely had a little bit something extra, you know. I've always had to work a little bit harder for what I've had to accomplish, but I just knew that martial arts, there was a calling. There was something burning inside me that if I knew I didn't go back to it, I'd be really angry at myself later on in life, you know. So it's a good thing that I kind of cleared my head and came back to martial arts, and so far I feel like I'm on the right path and doing the right things for my life, you know. I'd like to obviously become professional, be a successful professional MMA fighter and stuff, but my main passion is training other fighters and stuff, you know. Like, I'd rather train other people to get punched in the face and, you know, me myself get punched in the face, but I ultimately would like to take it as far as I'm able to. I'm gonna let my dad decide whether or not, you know, because he's been there before. If he sees that I'm not pushing myself as hard as I, you know, should be, or maybe I've reached that level of eliteness, then you know what, it's time to hang up the gloves. There's no point on lying to myself and staying in the sport and getting hurt, you know. So my accomplishment is just pretty much what everyone else wants to do. You want to make it to the UFC, you want to make it to the big show, you want to be recognized worldwide and stuff, you know. But the end result, after my career, I'd just like to own my own gym and just train other fighters. My opponent is Kyle Stewart. I've seen him fight a couple of my other cards, Laughlin, King of the Cage, and I believe it was my last one. He fought my teammate, Andrew. Andrew took the fight kind of a short notice, and when I've seen him fight before, I kind of always thought to myself, you know, I'd probably end up stepping in the cage with him, which is what happened with my last opponent, Byron Smashfields. I seen him, and I figured I might run into him or whatever, so I've been kind of studying him a little bit. He's from what I've seen, he's kind of like a stand-up fighter, but he's really tall, he's a really ranged fighter and stuff, you know, so I've been working a lot with a couple taller opponents and stuff, but he's fighting for the King of the Cage title, so, you know, he's going to be a game opponent, and I feel like I'm really prepared and ready to take on the challenge and bring that strap back to our gym. To bring the belt back to our gym would definitely mean success. It was a successful amateur career, you know. Between me and my teammate, Ramos Cruz, we were the first two to pretty much go out there and kind of take the Torres MMA sport name and kind of run with it and become the team leaders and stuff, you know, and for us to, either one of us, to bring back the belt, for the rest of the fighters, kind of like motivation for them, you know, whether they're going to be fighting a Tough Enough, WEC, or WFC, excuse me, and then, or King of the Cage. It just kind of like motivates them, you know, and to us it's like, if we were able to accomplish this in our amateur career, we could do the same thing professionally. We could become world champions there as well, you know. There's the Roy Raps, Las Vegas Car Raps. They've helped us out from the beginning. We were in the garage training when they made our debut for WFC up in Lake Tahoe, my hometown. They support us a lot, so thank you to Las Vegas Car Raps. And then our newest sponsor, Eliminate. They came on board a couple fights ago, and they've been with us 100%, and we look forward to taking them as long as them, you know, taking us to where we got to go. So big thanks to them. My entire Torres MMA sport teammates, especially my teammate Ramos Cruz, going out there, he's been helping me a lot with my wrestling. He's a smaller dude, but the guy can grind it out. He's like, feels like he's like 200 pounds when he's on top of me. So him, all my other sparring partners and stuff, my Uncle Hector punched me in the face. He helps me with my boxing a lot. Our jiu-jitsu coach, Steve Pellegrino, definitely helped us out for the last year and a half, just, you know, getting all the right points. Before we didn't have a jiu-jitsu coach. We just kind of like, man, all right, so do this or do that. That worked, that didn't work. Well, now we have the right direction and we're going the right way and stuff, you know, so thanks to all them. Most fighters, they have a family that they're fighting for, a better life, you know. Luckily for me, my dad went through all that. He worked 2 jobs, 2 full-time jobs or part-time jobs, and fought full-time. I've had to see his grind or whatever, you know, have to go through that. For me, it's like, I went to school, I went to college. I didn't grow up poor, you know. Thank you to my father, to my family, my mother. They worked their ass off for me to grow up better than they did, you know. So for me, it's like, it's more of just, I say it's kind of like a sickness, you know. It's like I wake up and you just want to compete, you know. So for me, it's just like, I'd rather be competing and doing something positive in my life here and knowing that I'm kind of living up to my potential, you know, instead of just waking up and being miserable working a 9-to-5 job or something like that. Like, I love my job now, but honestly, like, to be able to do something that you're passionate about, that just kind of defies, like, why I do things, you know, like why I do this, you know. People are like, so why do you like to get punched in the face? Like, honestly, I don't know, you know. It's like you wake up one morning and you don't feel like sparring, but then a couple days go by and you're like, man, I really wish, you know, I was in training camp right now, you know, getting hit in the leg, get punched in the face. Like, you kind of thrive for that, you know. So to me, it's kind of like a sick addiction or whatever, you know, but I love it, you know, just a passion for the sport. I love it.